What's going on, Squirrel Squad? It's your boy the Squirrel, and today I wanted to take a look at when Britain nuked America. Twice. I've had people recommend this video back, I think, when I was first starting the reactions. I know this came across a couple times, and I had saved it to my saved, watch later. So today I was looking through, I was like, alright, what do I have for saved videos? And I was like, I'm gonna go all the way back and see what I have. And this was way back there. And I was like, wow, I never did this video. Why not today? So here we go. I have no idea that they had nuked America twice until I saw this video was recommended to me. So I'm assuming it's true. So let's find out about why. And if it's your first time here, we do a little culture, a lot of comedy, some sports. We do a little bit of everything. So hit the subscription button and hang out. Here we go. Good music.
In the 1960s, Great Britain nuked the United States not once, but twice. Fortunately for all concerned, the attacks were only training exercises, but so embarrassing were these attacks that they were hidden from the American public for about 50 years, as well as being strenuously denied to the American press for decades. As far as America was concerned, its defenses were 99% effective, but in simulated attacks, Royal Air Force bombers managed to penetrate US airspace to launch nuclear attacks on New York City and several other important urban centers. Did the British manage to penetrate the world's most heavily defended airspace? The answer is surprisingly simple and consists of two words: Avro-Vulcan.
Fly well?
The Vulcan first flew in 1952. The team that created it, led by Roy Chadwick, who had designed the famous Lancaster heavy bomber of World War II. A jet-powered, tailless, delta-wing, high-altitude strategic bomber, the Vulcan was the backbone of Britain's nuclear airborne deterrent during most of the Cold War, serving from 1956 until retirement in 1984.
Replaced it.
This is the story of Exercise Sky Shield, when Britain nuked its closest ally, exposing how the Soviet Union could have done the same for real. In 1960, the United States decided to run the largest test of its air defenses in history. Exercise Sky Shield 1 occurred on the 10th of September 1960, and all commercial air traffic over the US and Canada was grounded, amounting to 1,000 US commercial flights and 700 general aviation aircraft, plus a further 31 foreign flights due to land in North America. The US Strategic Air Command would launch B-52 Stratofortresses and B-47 Stratojets to simulate a massive Soviet nuclear bomber force approaching North America from north and south. 360 US interceptor aircraft stood ready to defeat these enemy aircraft, which numbered 310. Among those 310 aircraft were 8 Royal Air Force Vulcan B-2 nuclear bombers. A flight of 4 flew from Scotland, while the other 4 launched from the British territory of Bermuda in the Atlantic Ocean. The American plan was to detect these enemy bombers by radar and other early warning systems, and then they would be intercepted and destroyed in simulated attacks by US jet fighters and missile batteries. The attacking bombers split their attacks between high and low altitude. The defending fighters did very well against the Stratojets and Stratofortresses, intercepting many of them, but the Vulcans proved more elusive opponents. The Vulcan flew at the highest altitude of the simulated Soviet bombers, cruising at 56,000 feet. One was successfully intercepted at this altitude over Goose Bay, Labrador, by a United States Air Force F-101 Voodoo. but the other 7 Vulcans all managed to penetrate American airspace to launch simulated bombing attacks on US cities.
7 out of 8. Well, we caught one. You know what happened? Like we're like, oh, well, we got one. And then we're like, yes, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. We started celebrating, and everything else came in and kicked snot out of us.
They then turned around and landed at Stephenville, Newfoundland. The question was, how had the Vulcan managed it? The answer was their highly advanced electronic countermeasures systems and the Vulcan's amazing maneuverability. For example, the flight of 4 aircraft that approached from Bermuda were successful because 3 of them put up a wall of electronic interference that prevented interception, while the 4th Vulcan carried out a simulated nuclear strike. This was all rather embarrassing for Strategic Air Command, which quickly buried all stories about British bombers having nuked US targets and confidently assured the American public that US air defenses were, as I said, 99% effective. However, the following year the Americans invited the RAF to take part in Exercise Sky Shield 2. Perhaps the US AF was determined to show that the Vulcan's previous success was only a fluke, a one-time only event.
So let me make sure I'm keeping up with this, alright? So we did a nuclear practice. We wanted to make sure that our air defense was working good. We invited the Royal Air Force to take part in it. We do simulated takedowns, such and such. 7 out of 8 planes get through. The simulated nuclear attack happens. And we tell everybody nothing to worry about. We're still 99% effective. So then a year later now, I believe this is. A year later, we're going to invite the Royal Air Force to come show us again.
Sky Shield 2, which occurred on the 14th of August 1961, was an even bigger event than the first one. It caused 2,900 US and Canadian flights to be grounded, affecting 125,000 commercial passengers. During the exercise, 125 US and British bombers would be pitted against 1,800 fighters and 250 missile sites, and over 200,000 Air Force personnel from the US and Canada.
When your wings have their own landing gear.
Coming up on 16.5 seconds. Now, continuing. Yep, and I'm still ready, now. Brakes are apart, gear. Come up.
The size of that plane.
6 foot standing by flaps.
Monster.
Again, 8 Vulcan B-2s participated, split again into 2 flights. One attacking on the northern route from RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland via Canada, and the other 4 aircraft on a southerly route from Kindley Air Force Base, Bermuda. The B-47 Stratojets simulated low-level Soviet bombers. The B-52s would attack between 35,000 and 42,000 feet, while the Vulcans again operated at the highest altitude, 56,000 feet. At the massive NORAD, or North American Air Defense Bunker at Colorado Springs, the US top brass was joined by the RAF's Air Marshal Sir Kenneth Cross of Bomber Command and Sir Wallace Kyle, Chief of the RAF Technical Training Command, to monitor the exercise. Just before 2 p.m., US interceptors pounced on the B-52s, approaching at the mid to high altitude level.
Monitor the exercise? Well, make sure that we don't get embarrassed again. Or are these 2 dudes the scapegoats when it all goes south? Like, this son of a bitch, you're supposed to be watching this.
The Vulcans also came in from the north, and again, due to the Vulcans' high-tech jamming equipment, only one was shot down by an F-101 Voodoo fighter. In fact, large numbers of US fighters were scrambled, But they concentrated almost exclusively on the B-52s. When the Vulcans came over, the interceptors did not have sufficient fuel remaining to climb to 56,000 feet plus and engage them. The surviving 3 Vulcans conducted their attacks successfully, turned around and landed at Stephenville, Newfoundland. The southern attack force of 4 Vulcans from Bermuda reached a position 50 miles off the US coast before fighters were scrambled to intercept. Again, 3 of the Vulcans unleashed an electronic jamming screen that kept the attacking F-102 Delta daggers busy, while the 4th aircraft crept round to the north and sneaked through.
So 3 of them did the jamming and the 1 guy snuck by. Again, let's not forget this is again, okay? Sounds to me like we got 7 out of 8 through. Again.
Vulcan proceeded to land at Plattsburgh Air Force Base in New York. If this had been a real attack, New York City could have been reduced to a smoking, irradiated hole in the ground.
Scary. That's scary. Ah.
Many of the stratojets and stratofortresses had also managed to evade interception and launch simulated nuclear attacks, but not at the kind of success rate that the Vulcans enjoyed. In 2 massive exercises of 8 Vulcans that attacked on each occasion, 7 had got through to their targets, an astounding survival rate against the huge might of the US air defenses. The Vulcans showed that with the right aircraft, America could be laid wide open to a nation-ending assault, something which the Soviet Union would have been very interested in.
Yeah.
Fortunately for all concerned, the relationship between Britain and the United States never changed from special to decidedly antagonistic, and the Vulcans never came in anger. The American government also tried to make damn sure that nobody ever found out about the Vulcans nuking American cities. The US Air Force was very quick to deny rumors that RAF planes had once again successfully penetrated US airspace. In fact, the US government went so far as to classify all references to Vulcans included in the Sky Shield exercises. After all, if the RAF could practice nuke New York City, Washington, D.C., and even Chicago, the Soviets could do the same, if they could develop an aircraft as good as the Vulcan. As far as Strategic Air Command was concerned, the Vulcan episodes had never happened, and the US was well protected, and that protection, as I said, 99% effective. The Vulcans' successful attacks on America were only fully declassified in 1997, long after the Vulcan had left British service. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.
Well, Mark, I appreciate you putting that together so I could learn from it. I always love learning new and interesting things, and boy, that was new and interesting. I wasn't sure. I honestly thought that, like, my thought on this was going to be like the U.S. had these 2 remote islands that it gave Britain permission to use as, target practice. There's nobody there. And that's why I thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, well, they nuked us twice because we told them, yeah, you can go nuke that little island. There's nothing there. That's what I thought it was going to be. And instead it was, hey, come help us out to test our defenses. Oh shit. We didn't do very well. Give us a year, we'll come back. All right, now it's a year later now. Come back and help us test our defenses. Shit, they did it again. So yeah, that was pretty cool though. I mean, at the end he was saying how, like, we're allies, and so there's really no worry about it, which is 100% true. But I can understand suppressing it. I feel like our government, and when I say our government, I mean you can think the same about your government. All governments pretty much suck, but to an extent, in some way or another, you know what I mean? and what they feel that we can and can't handle is a big part of why I think they kind of suck, because the transparency is not there, you know. But interesting either way. I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of neat. You know, what'd you guys think? Did you guys know this happened? Anyone watching this? You know, American, you know, and someone from the UK, anyone from Australia, India, wherever you're watching this from. Did you know this happened? You know, did you know that we failed twice in a row? Oh boy, oh boy. Well, Mr. Felton, thank you so much. Squirrel Squad, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll catch everybody at some point soon. Be good. Scroll up.